Now, today's topic is conceptual framework. The conceptual framework is the entire framework that governs the IAS, and all the IFRS. So, all the standards are based on the conceptual framework. So, this should be the first topic to study. So, what is conceptual framework? Conceptual framework is a set of principles and concepts that are used in the preparation and presentation of financial statement. Conceptual framework make the accounting standard consistent with each other, and conceptual framework act as a reference point if no accounting standard exists. There are three main things that it is the basis of it is the principles and it's the concept for the preparation and presentation of financial statement. It makes accounting standard consistent with each other, and it acts as a reference point if there is no accounting standard exists. So what is the purpose of conceptual framework? First, it helps in board when developing new IFRS standards. It helps the preparer of financial statement when no IFRS applies or when there is a choice of accounting policy. And third, it helps in understanding and interpreting IFRS standards. So what are the three purposes of conceptual framework? It helps in first, when board is going to develop new IFRS standard. Second, preparing financial statement when no IFRS apply or there is a choice of accounting policy. Simply in depreciation, for example, there's 2 or 3 methods and given for the depreciation. So conceptual framework can help. And third, it helps in understanding and interpreting IFRS standard. Now, what is the objective of financial reporting? The purpose of financial reporting is to provide information to the current and potential investors, lenders, and creditors. They need information about what? They need information about entities, potential future cash flows, assets, liability, equity, income and expenses. And management stewardship means how management is utilizing the resources to generate return or profit for the investors or for the people who have invested. So, objective of financial reporting is to provide the information to the current and potential investors, lenders, creditors. They need information about entities, potential future cash flows like assets. They need information about assets, liabilities, income, expenses, equity. And second, management stewardship, how management is using the resources to run the organization or to generate profit. Now, there are some characteristics of financial information, of useful financial information. So, I am first going to discuss the qualitative characteristic of useful financial information. Fundamental characteristic: financial information is only used if it is relevant. And second, fundamental characteristic is faithful representation, and information should be faithful representation of entities transaction, and transaction should be relevant. Now, what is relevant? Means relevance. Relevant information will make an impact on the decision made by users of financial statement. Relevance required to consider materiality. An item that is material if it is omission or misstatement would influence economic decision of user. Faithful representation of a transaction reflects its economic reality rather than its legal form. It have the following characteristic: it should be complete, neutral, and free from error. Example: consolidation, lease, debt versus liability, IFRS 9, compound financial instrument. So, fundamental characteristic of useful financial information is it should be relevant and it should be a faithful representation of a transaction. So, relevance is anything that can, if relevant information is that will have an impact on the decision made by the user of financial statement. Relevance requires us to consider materiality. And what is materiality? Materiality is if an item is material, if its omission or its misstatement will influence the economic decision of user. And faithful representation is that the transaction should reflect the economic reality rather than the legal form. It has 3 characteristics. For faithful representation should be complete, neutral, and free from errors. Now, what are the other characteristics of useful financial information? Enhancing characteristics. Enhancing qualitative characteristics of useful financial information are comparability. Comparability means able to compare financial year from year-on-year basis with another entity or with our own entity from previous year to the current year. Second, timeliness. Older information is less useful or it's useless. Third, verifiability. Information should be verifiable and from a verifiable source. Fourth, understandability. Information should be presented as clearly and concisely as possible. So, 4 enhancing characteristics are comparability, timeliness, verifiability, understandability. Now, cost constraint. Producing financial statement takes time and cost. Benefit should outweigh the cost. IFRS 16 replaced IAS 17 leases and radically changed the lessee accounting, required all lessee to recognize asset and liability at start unless lease is short term and low value asset. However, the accounting treatment of lessor didn't change because it was outweighing the cost. Purpose of financial statement. Financial statement provide user with the information about entities' asset, liability, equity, income, and expenses. 5 items, or I simply say 5 heads or 5 categories. Financial statements provide users or the public or the shareholder with information about the entity's income, expenses, liability, equity, and expense. Information is provided in which form? Income statement, balance sheet, notes to the financial statement, and cash flow statement. So these are 4 things: income statement, balance sheet, notes, and cash flow statement. What are the elements of financial statement? Elements of financial statement are balance sheet and income statement. Balance sheet will represent balance sheet will represent asset, liability, and equity, and income statement will report income and expenses. Now, what is economic resources? Economic resource, asset. Asset is an economic resource. Economic resource controlled by an entity from which economic inflow is potential. Now, what are economic claims? Economic claims are equity and liability. Liability is a present obligation arising from the past event in which economic outflow is potential. Here the definition is replaced from probable to potential. And equity is a residual interest in the net assets of an entity. Now, change in economic resources and claim as a result of financial performance is income and expenses. Change in economic resources and claims as a result of financial performance. Income, increase in assets or decrease in liability that result in increase in equity, excluding contribution from the shareholder. And expenses are decrease in the assets or increase in the liability that result in decrease in equity, excluding the distribution to shareholders. Now, other changes in economic resources and claim: contribution from and distribution to shareholder, exchange of assets and liability that do not increase or decrease equity. Now, recognition. Recognition is an important topic. Items are only recognized in financial statement if they meet definition of one of the elements are asset, liabilities, income, expenses, or equity. These are the 5 elements. An item is only recognized if it meets the definition of any one of the elements. However, not all the items meeting the definition are recognized. Items are recognized if recognition provide user with the useful information and should have the characteristic of relevant and a faithful representation. Recognition is not relevant if there is uncertainty over the existence and low probability of inflow or outflow of economic resources. IAS 37 provision prohibit the recognition of contingent liability in asset because it is not probable that economic resources will flow to or from the entity, and recognition does not provide a faithful representation if there is a high degree of management uncertainty. IAS 37 provision is consistent with the conceptual framework. Now, derecognition. Derecognition occurs when first, entity loses the control of assets. Second, there is no present obligation for the liability. Okay, derecognition for asset occur when the entity loses the control of asset, and for liability there is no present obligation. If I have to summarize this, risk and reward is transferred. Either it's the case of asset or either it's the case of liability. Risk and reward is transferred. So you have to derecognize the asset or liability. Derecognition should be faithful. Derecognition is not appropriate when exposure to variation in economic benefit is retained, means risk and reward is retained, so derecognition is not appropriate. For example, sale and repurchase arrangement with fixed price. Now, measurement. What is measurement? Cash conceptual framework outlines 2 measurement bases: historical cost basis and current value. Current value means fair value. Value in use, current cost. So they have given you the 2 measurement methods like historical cost and current value. Fair value, value in use, and current cost. Measurement base must be relevant and faithful representation of the transaction. Relevance is maximized if following is considered: characteristic of assets and liability, cash flow characteristic of asset and liability. Relevance in any of the situation is maximized when we consider the characteristic of asset or liability and the cash flow characteristic of asset and liability. Now, what is the effective presentation and disclosure? Entity specific information is more useful than the standardized information, and there should be no duplication of financial information. So effective presentation and disclosure is 2 things. Effective presentation and disclosure require 2 things. There should be entity specific information, and standard information is useless, and there should be no duplication of information. Now, second thing is that classification. Classification of assets and liability into the separate components provide relevant information. That is why assets are divided into current assets and non-current asset, and same as it is, liabilities are divided into current liability and non-current liability. This provides additional information to the users that help them to assess the future cash flow, solvency. Offsetting dissimilar item classification is not appropriate, like you cannot deduct current asset from current liability. Net is reported. For example, offsetting dissimilar item is not appropriate. It's not allowed at all. So classification of assets and liability into current and non-current is just to provide the relevant information. Now, the next thing is, after classification, is aggregation. Aggregation is adding together 2 or more items that have same characteristics. Now, what are the benefits of adding 2 or more items that have the same characteristics? Benefit is it summarizes information that would otherwise be too detailed. And what is the disadvantage? Too much aggregation obscure relevant information. Profit or loss and other comprehensive income. Now, what is the say of conceptual framework? Conceptual framework states that the statement of profit or loss is the primary source of information about an entity's financial performance. As such, income and expenses should normally be recognized in the statement. When developing or revising standard, board notes that it might require an income and expense to be presented in other comprehensive income if it results from measuring an item to current value, and if this means that profit or loss provide more relevant information or a more faithful representation is provided of an entity's performance. Income and expenditure included in other comprehensive income should be reclassified to profit or loss. When doing so, result in profit or loss providing more relevant information. However, the board may decide that reclassification is not appropriate if there is no clear basis for identifying the amount or timing of reclassification.